dive into the new series of the Unfiltered Crew. Today we have with us the COO of this prestigious institution, Miss Simrat Joshi, a sweet, kind soul who has been the part of this family from the very beginning.
Years ago, IIAD wasn't just an idea. It was a bold experiment in redefining design education in India. Today, it's a thriving community of exploration, innovation, and impact. So, welcome to this very special edition of the podcast where we're celebrating 10 years of IIAD. Joining us today are three leaders who do not need an introduction, but these have been the heart of this transformation journey. First, we're honored to have Professor Usha Patel, our visionary dean and a trailblazer in art and design education. With over 30 years of experience, she's been an instrumental in building spaces wherever creativity flows. Next up, we have Dr. Jitin Chadda, the mastermind behind IIAD and the pioneer in modernizing education. As the founder and CEO of An Academy, and as the founder and director of IIAD, he has reshaped how design has been taught in India. And finally, we're joined by Ms. Simrat Joshi, Chief Operating Officer at IIAD. With over 25 years of experience in strategic planning and operation, she's played a key role in building the institution's culture and promoting its growth. We're so excited to dive in your vision, and we cannot wait to hear your thoughts on whatever the future holds. Thank you for being here, sir and ma'am. I'd like to call Shas sir now, who's an associate professor in CD in IIAD, who's also running a studio called Mud and Water, and he's been practicing animation for the past 24 years. I'd love to have you here, sir, and take forward this conversation.
Thank you. I've been given the job to ask you questions which are supposed to be funny, and having interacted with my super bosses, it is a task that I am getting into. So first question I would like to ask the director himself. What do you know about gestural law? What do you know about the secondary colors of light and pigment?
Yeah, there's one called magenta and cyan and something. I know enough.
You're not supposed to know.
Since you're sitting in between these two white-haired women, how did you choose these two white-haired women to be the pillars and foundation of IIAD?
Well, their white hair represent wisdom to me. That's what I thought. there is some of it in there.
And both these ladies are diametrically opposite, you know. Like you are very famous for कि आपको हमेशा गुस्सा क्यों आता है, and you are very famous कि how do you manage to keep calm amongst all of this. So गुस्सा क्यों आता है और calm कैसे रहते हो? गुस्सा क्यों आता है?
मुझे गुस्सा नहीं आता है।
गुस्सा नहीं आता है।
मैं काम नहीं रहती हूँ।
जिसको गुस्सा आता है वो कभी एडमिट नहीं करता।
मैं काम नहीं रहती हूँ।
So yin and
pretend करती हूँ, फसाद है calmness का।
So do you guys sort of exchange notes? Do you
Absolutely.
all the time?
Absolutely.
We try to help each other when we
you have to ask Simrat कि सिमरत को मेरे पे गुस्सा क्यों आता है?
वो सवाल आ रहा है। उसका भी कोई जवाब है आपके पास?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। Boss is always right. मुझे गुस्सा कभी नहीं आता है।
You're quite famous for disagreeing with your boss. How dare you do that?
how dare you?
The trouble is, I don't really disagree with him because I can't, since he's always right. So it's that, as Usha says, only a facade.
It's only a facade. Did you manage to get your way through, or does he win all
Never.
the time?
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
Okay, coming to you, ma'am. Maybe we can all include ourselves, but I would focus on you. What do you think of IIAD after 2 vodkas down?
Well, a bliss. Absolutely bliss. Anyway, I find IID a bliss, but it goes even blisser when I have 2 vodkas down.
Your opinions are the same thing?
After Usha's had 2 vodkas? Yeah, then everything is happy.
Everything is happy.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me, after 2 vodkas, I don't drink vodka.
That's a problem.
That's what it is.
And how do you deal with both these women once they're...
So like you said, it's like yin and yang.
Yin and yang.
So I guess that's why they're there. They kind of neutralize.
Yes.
By the time I make them clash with each other, and then something happens, and then we reach equilibrium.
Okay. Now this one's for you specifically because you manage or you deal with two diametrically opposite sets of people. One who are very data driven, have a goal, have a number to deal with. The others are people like us who are very dreamy, don't know what they're saying, but they have a wish list, etc. How do you manage these two quarters?
Then you ask me, gussa kyun aata hai?
But still, I mean, how do you?
So it's an interesting question. I find that if you explain things clearly to the creative people, they sort of get it.
Sort of, not
Right?
really.
Not really, but they sort of get it. So then they feel that, acha, theek hai, maybe she's saying something that is right. With the data-driven people, it's much easier. You tell them very clearly कि data ऐसा है, तो ऐसा ही करना है.
चाहिए तो मुझे ये
यही चाहिए.
Okay, and both of you, how do you deal with a younger boss?
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, is it?
Without even getting anybody to whether we are being flirtous or not. You can get
Yeah,
away.
the same.
Yes, yes. I have been adopted by them.
I didn't want to say that. Okay.
Yes, totally.
Same with you. How's your experience been working with these eccentric, passionate, creative people who will say, time पे आने की क्या ज़रूरत है, काम तो हो रहा है, attendance, work from home.
मेरा TDS क्यों कट रहा है? That's tagged at source. वो क्या होता है?
How do you deal with that?
No, I think I enjoy it. Really, it's been fun, interesting, and I figured out that I don't have to deal with that. I delegate that to Simrat.
I will
Yes,
wait
yes,
to
yes. So तभी उसको गुस्सा आता है.
Now, what do you think and how do you do? Are you very proud of you being accused of being very tight-fisted?
Tight-fistedness is with the other, not Jitin.
Not with
Not with Jitin. Jitin is the boss, yeah. I mean with the other, all of us, as colleagues, as students, as faculty, as any colleague, even the staff.
So I'll here come.
So that we accuse her.
As a
Tight-fisted.
once in a lifetime event, I will come here for Simrat's defense
Oh, there we go.
on camera. Is that I think it's not that Simrat is tight-fisted. I think the job profile or the role she has requires it to be that way. So if I gave Shahaz that role, either Shahaz would become that or Shahaz won't be in that role, right? So I think somebody's got to do that part, which might not look very pleasing or appeal. Right? Somebody's got to be a bad cop, right? And Simrat has to forcefully wear the bad cop mask sometimes.
A lot of the time.
No. Now recently she's
Yeah.
been very.
But I think now she's wearing it with me, so that's like she's. I've created a monster.
When we enter your space, you actually take off your mask and you smile. And we are quite happy about it.
Yes.
Ah, she's smiling. Next question.
Maybe it's just you, Shaz.
This is me.
Yeah. And down after 2 podcasts, we know Shaz.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
And the question was also
Next
raised
question.
by her.
How much money have you collected through fines from the students last year? You know?
Not enough.
Not enough.
That is the correct answer.
And does that make you happy?
No.
No.
Proud of her for that?
We just joke about it. It doesn't really matter. As long as the books go back to the library.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
And the tables don't break.
Yeah.
Too many.
But being in a design school with artists and creative people, they start doing their concept generation on the table itself, because they're so consumed by the passion of creation.
So that's Dr. Chadda's fault, no? For getting into the passionate field.
He
I
needs
have to blame him for something.
Some wooden bark needs to be put in the studio instead of very finished furniture. I mean, we're not worth it.
Correct.
It's not required.
Or bring your own table.
Or
Bring your own tables. Okay, now going right to the beginning. In the beginning, when we were setting up everything, IIAD was being set up, how did you prepare the faculty for the front validation?
I think
I
I would like the others. I used to be so neck deep. I used to feel like I don't know what to call myself, a teacher or a tutor, mentor. All these words are very minor or mild There must be something more to that.
Vision.
I think Simrat could explain how my room looked like, and this building wasn't what building is.
Right.
My room, I was like where something like
second-
Simrat's, where the room she sits.
But
And
on the
what
second
used
floor.
to happen there, Simrat would have a better answer to that.
So when we started the first year, when we came in 2014, and we just moved in and things like that, Usha had to set up the entire foundation program. So we had Kishore and Pankaj join us, and there was Urvi, I think, who was there.
Usha
And Usha Iyer came a little later, but these were the people who were there, and the validation was coming closer and closer, and we had to get it validated before the course started, because we couldn't start the course without the validation. And there was so much paperwork that was required by Kingston University to get that validation through, you know.
Right.
Besides the fact that they were coming and we had to organize their trips and their tours and whatnot else, we also had to get the course handbook done, and you had to get the program done. And of course, Kishore, Pankaj and Urvi knew nothing about the validation and how to go through a validation. And Usha was getting more and more anxious about this validation. So she used to have a whiteboard in her room, and every day they used to have classes, you know, कि ये सवाल होगा तो ये जवाब देना, वो सवाल होगा तो ऐसे जवाब देना.
They were all very pure artists. Pankaj
Correct, that's
and
right.
Kishore,
That's right.
I mean, they have no idea what the credits were. They had no clue what the
Correct.
credit system, what the R's are, how do you validate that, what are the philosophies or true values for the education is. They were so passionate. So they had to answer all that. We just three of us there.
Right.
So the classrooms used to be too funny that time, and they used to come and work. Oh, what's happening here?
And
So
like,
very interesting.
and like the students, they wanted 10 minute ka break. 10 minute ka break. They used to go on.
Would you say Usha's
Vision.
vision, but the unwavering vision was something that sort of held it together?
Absolutely. My God,
I also
without
get that vibe.
without Usha and her, you know, making sure that everything was right, that validation would not have gone through. We did have some conditions and all that had to be met,
Right.
but it was all Usha's work to get the validation
And this
done.
growth that we are seeing in IIAD and the quality of students that's getting better batch by batch, would you credit that to this vision that's coming from the top?
No.
I think it's a hard work. I think it's a hard work of everyone. Yes, it is a vision of Dr. Chadha and Usha's, but I think it's a hard work of all the faculty as well, and the
But
students.
to keep them in the line, how do you do that?
Well, it's more Usha keeping the faculty in line.
Yeah, I think that's more important. It's very tough, guys.
Okay, the last question. What are your greatest wish for IIAD?
For me, it's very simple. It's always been to see IIAD grow. When we joined also, it was, you know, that first batch that came in. I remember almost every one of them because I was in direct contact with them. I'm sorry, I don't remember a lot of the students now, but yeah, that batch I will always remember. And the way we've grown over the years, I think that has been great, and that is what I would always wish for IIAD in the future as well.
Thank you so much for your time, and may the force be with the three of you and IIAD. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.